So, first of all, we will summarize very short where we're holding, because we finished the general introduction to the Tanya, because the Tanya, it's a book of practice. But before the practice, the Alter Rebbe giving us the map of the souls, the map of what you are. And according to what you are, you need to know your work. So if you are righteous, your work is different, and the Tanya is not written for you. And righteous, Alter Rebbe explained what is it righteous. Righteous is a person, it's a holy person that is holy soul, godly soul, is in full control. And he have the natural instinct of him is love and fear and respect towards God. But if you are a regular person, a common person, so you are not righteous person. You have both sides, both instincts to the godly side and to the natural side. The first instinct will be the natural instinct, and the godly side will be recognized by thinking, because the godly soul, her language is mostly understanding. Even though, of course, if a person that have no knowledge about Judaism, yes, he will have his instinct, and also he will think, doesn't mean that he will be acknowledging his godly soul, even though he has one, because he doesn't have a common language with his godly soul. If you're thinking about Torah after learning, so you can speak the same language. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So what is the mission of the Beinoni, of the middle person? This is a person that he wanna be in a level of Beinoni. What does that mean? As we said, the tzaddik, Beinoni, and Rasha, the righteous middle person, and the wicked, they're both having two souls. The Rasha, most of the time, is animal soul controlling his godly soul. What does that mean, controlling? It means that he have no contact with his godly soul, no feelings for it, and every time that he have a choice to make, he choosing the animal soul. It's not a fight even. The godly soul have the same, the righteous have the same position, the opposite. And the middle person is a person that not only he choosing the good side. The point is that he's choosing the good side because he developed in himself a feeling that giving him a strength to choose the good side. It means that he's in a level of righteous. A person that his animal soul controlling him, but he's choosing the good side. Why he choosing the good side? Could be because he had no choice. We forced him, with a gun point. Yes? He's not in a level of Beinoni. He stayed in the same level. Beinoni is a person that he is in a level, meaning in feeling, inside. His feeling is that he cannot do sin. Not as tzaddik, because tzaddik almost have no choice. Everybody have choice, but the tzaddik almost have no choice. But the Beinoni always have the choice. Why? Because if he want to be in the level, to stay in the level of the Beinoni, meaning in the feeling, he can just stop, invest time and effort to be Beinoni, to feel that feeling. So how a regular person could do it? So there is two general approaches. But before the approaches, I would say another introduction, very small one. And we said it already. the godly soul is intellect mostly, meaning its language is intellect. Animal soul is its language is not intellect. Is for some people it is, but it mostly works by instincts, by feelings, by immediate reaction. Yes, meaning it's what are you feeling right now. This is a a a default advantage to the godly soul, to the animal soul in practical life, because most of the time people talk in immediate responses and immediate feelings and instincts. But it's also a default advantage to the godly soul, because when a person thinking about it, the thinking controlling the feeling. In the end of the day, the mind, this is the boss. And the mind is the mind of godly soul. If you have the tools to engage to the godly soul will win. In the words of Alter Rebbe, moach shalit al halev beteva, betiv'o. The mind controlling, the brain controlling the heart in nature. It's true that the heart is more accessible, it's here. The mind is in the books. As one of the most righteous person in his generation, very famous person, was Rabbi Levi Yitzchak from Barditchev. He was a friend with Alter Rebbe. Very righteous person, very holy person. And
we just heard the story about him yesterday.
Yeah, there is many stories about him. Well, you heard it in the lecture.
Hasidic Maisa.
Hasidic Maisa, very nice. So he once said to God, you put the good side in the books and the world in the world. The bad side you put in the world. If you did the opposite, put the good side in the world and the bad in the books, it will be much easier. So from one, this is the advantage of the world. The advantage of the good side, the holy side, is that this is in mind, and brains control the heart. So now we will go to explain the two approaches of the Beinoni. And again, we need to go back to the source, meaning to the map of the soul. The godly soul have intellect and have emotions. A person can think about God and developed in himself emotions towards God, love and fear, emotions of the godly soul. He can develop deeper thoughts, he can think deeper thoughts and develop deeper feelings. The mind can control what types of feeling you will have in the godly realm. For example, if I'm thinking, how judgmental is God? Judgmental, I mean God's judgment. Not every small thing that I'm doing here not good, I will be judged in the heavens, or in a deeper way, in a more truthful way. Every bad thing that I'm doing here, so my soul is in exile, and it's feeling this disaster of feeling like a fire in a cage that is just dying. And God himself is in exile, because God himself is in my soul. So what emotions you creating in yourself? Fear, distress from bad things. And it's also a drive. There is people that this is their way. But there is people that they think, how good is God? He chose us, small people, to do his mission. And he created all the world, the physical world and the spiritual world. But instead of choosing angels, instead of he was not needed to choose at all. He wanted to choose. And who he chose? Small creations that not matter for him anything. It's like a king going out of his palace, going to the city, searching for his son, finding him in the garbage, taking him with his both hands to the palace, cleaning him, giving him a good bath, and hugging him. This is every mitzvah. This is also a type of thought that a person can think. And this developed emotion. So this is, I would say, the ideal way of the Beinoni. What is the ideal way of Beinoni? To think. To think and to think and to be reminded for himself about these thoughts. That's why the morning prayer to the big Hasidim was hours. Hours. I'm talking about 5 hours, 6 hours, or less. Hasidim trained themselves to concentrate in one idea for hours. 5 hours to think about one idea, not to do anything else. And that was their lifestyle. It was a whole lifestyle. One of the big differences between the Hasidic community and the Litvische community in the beginning was the importance of prayer. Litvische community, they prayed as quick as possible. Why? Because every minute that you're praying, it's a minute that you're not learning. And to learn Torah, this is the only thing. Hasidim started to give a specific place and a designated time and a long time to the prayer. Why? Because the prayer, it's the time to connect all the Torah that we're learning, all the mitzvot that we're doing, to put in those Torah and mitzvot, to put in that feeling, a true feeling. Because if you're learning Torah with not feeling anything, you're serving yourself. Why are you learning Torah? Because this is what my friends told me to do. This is what it's comfortable for me. So this was the core difference. We need to put God in the Torah that we're learning. We need to do it with the right emotions. And to get a true emotion, it's hard. You need to think about it. You need to think about how great is God and how small are you. That's why the morning prayer, for example, was for hours and hours. And after that, after prayer of 6 hours, for example, then you have this emotion after the prayer of something. And you're behaving like a righteous person forever. But as soon as the time passed, you're going back to your core instinct because it couldn't last forever. That's why you need to have another prayer. Mincha, the prayer, afternoon prayer. Of course, it's much shorter. Why? Because you already need only to be reminded of the feeling that you have. And this is their work for every day. That's why it's hard, and it's life's mission. It's a life mission. It's not something a regular person that's going to work 8 in the morning, start his job, 9 in the morning, going to the office, working is not. It's not the same lifestyle that we use today. But this is the ideal Beinoni. Now that was the job since also in the time of the Talmud, there is group of people that they were called Hasidim, and they were praying for hours. This is why the nickname of Hasidim came. They were praying 9 hours a day. 9 hours a day. And even the Talmud asks, if they praying 9 hours a day, what happened to their Torah learning? When they're learning Torah? So the Talmud answered, because they are Hasidim, meaning they achieved some level of holiness. So the Torah is being blessed or being saved. It means that they achieved in a small amount of time that they left. They achieved more. So this is the way of the Beinoni, and of course, Hasidim did it, practice it all the time. In the beginning, it was easier. You should understand the worst. I would just give examples. For example, Hasid of Alter Rebbe, his name was Rabbi Binyamin Kletzger. Rabbi Binyamin Kletzger. Kletzger is a name. It's a nickname, right? And he was a businessman. He was dealing with wood, but he was also Hasid of Alter Rebbe. He was not a regular Hasid. He was very intelligent person, meaning he was smart. He was thinking about God. He had the ability that his mind will stay connected. There is a story that is one going to the market after morning prayer, with his talit and tefillin bag. And then one idea of Torah was catching his head, so he put his talit in nearby wagon, that the horse is connected to the wagon. Yes. Put his talit, put his leg on one of the wagons. Yes. Wheels. Not wheels. Wheels. Yeah. Tire. How you say? Okay.
Wheel. Yeah.
Wheel. Put his leg, his head on his hand, and he stopped thinking. And then the wagon with the talit went, and he's standing like this. And then after a while, his leg going down, but he's still thinking. So then, after hours, he was like, woke up and he says, "Where is what's going on?" So that was his. And another story about him is that he was sitting in a business meeting, and he bought or sell wood. And they did the calculation. In the end, he's writing what is the result, how much is it? So he said, "Enod milvado." That's what he wrote. There's no one except God. This was the end. We have this and this and this. No one except God. And he gave the paper because that was his So
How did he manage to stay in business?
I don't know. In the end of the story, this is a specific lifestyle. I would not say that. I'm sure that some of them, if they were living today, they were considered, as they say in Hebrew, tayasim. How you say in Hebrew in English?
Pilot.
No, but I mean,
The dreamers.
Dreamers, they were people. It was fit to the time and to the place, of course. Living in shtetl in Ukraine, it's much easier than to live in a big city and to live a normal life. But also people in generations after, there is people that this is their style of life. There is many stories about Hasidim. I will say another story because it's a cute story. It was Hasid of the second Rebbe and the third Rebbe. His name was Yosef. And he was once going to Lubavitch, to the town, or to the third Chabad Rebbe, and he's sitting in the wagon and thinking Hasidut, and the wagon jumped because of snow or whatever, and he fell off the wagon, but he didn't notice. He was still thinking, and he's sitting in the snow, thinking. And then came another group of Hasidim going to Lubavitch. They asked him, "Yosef, what you doing in the ground?" So he said, "What do you mean? I'm going to Lubavitch." So it was. So it's funny stories, but those were people that this was their lifestyle, and this is the Hasidim way. What was the way? To always think and to develop emotions, that those emotions will give you the drive to do, and basically will put you in a position that you are not connected to the natural instincts that you have. But this is high level. You need a high level of intelligence. And I'm talking about, for example, we talked many times about the difference in generations, and I told you many times that in Judaism you can see it. There were Hasidim of the 6th Lubavitcher Rebbe, meaning less than 100 years ago, that they were, I remember, I heard once that was one Hasid of the 6th Lubavitcher Rebbe, they had a yeshiva in Hebron, city in Israel. And they were there a few years, and they came back to Lubavitch. And they told the guys there that there is a difference between the houses in Hebron and in Lubavitch. In Hebron, how you say,
Roof.
the roof is flat.
Ceiling.
The ceiling is flat, and in Lubavitch, it's like this. And when the roof is flat, you can lay out in the sun and think for 6 hours about Hasidut. But here in Lubavitch, I don't have this comfortable place to think. Understand? It's a very big level that they developed in themselves. They worked on it to think about one thing and to develop it and to find how true is it in you. As we said about that, how is this idea relevant for me? You can think about God, but it's including me. It's not all the world. It's me. It's this. It's everything. This is the ideal approach. Another approach that the Rebbe giving Tanya. And this, to understand that, we need to explore another thing in the godly soul. So through all the generations of Jewish history, Jews were forced many times to choose between their life and their Judaism. Through all generations. And millions of Jews chose Judaism. Yes? And they were died in suffering. And they died in suffering. What is the explanation for that? If we're talking about now Jewish, this introduction, this map of the soul that Alter Rebbe gave us, how it's this fits in? They didn't thought for a second. We talked about it once. They didn't thought for a second, I have so much love for God, I'm willing to give this my life. When you were asking Jew that is now burning in fire in Spain, in Inquisition, what are you feeling? I'm not feeling, it's a lot of pain. I'm not feeling not love and not respect and not fear. So why they did it? What is that act representing in the soul? Where it's coming from? So we talked about the 10 forces of the soul, but there is the force that is above. As we said in the body, there is every organ have its mission. The hands have its responsibility of the sense of feeling, and the eye to see, and the nose to smell, and everything. And there is the DNA that's in all organs the same. This is part of me. This is part of me. Who is me? Which organ is it? It's me. So we're calling it DNA. But of course, there is the me that inside all the bodies, all the organs. So what is that? So in the soul, it's basically the core of my body. If we're talking about this part of the organs that they are me, this is the core, the existence of me that exists in every part of my organs. So the soul have 10 forces, and every force have its own mission, intelligence, understanding, and feeling like this, feeling like this. But there is the core of the soul. The core of the soul, it's above everything. Meaning it's above feelings, it's above understanding, and even it's above the will, it's also above everything, but it's even above this, the core of the soul. What is the core of the soul? Core of the soul is that it's the godly part of the soul. It's God himself. As we said in the body, there is me, Michi, my hand, my face. And as we said the story, Alter Rebbe is sitting with his grandson and he's playing with him. Where's Alter Rebbe? He's pointing on his face, he's saying, it's my face, hand, his hand, beard, his beard, and going to the other side of the room. And he said, Zayde, grandfather. So he turns it around and he said, this is Alter Rebbe. What does that mean? It means that sometime we can divide the organ with the core, because the core, it's not necessarily everything together. In Alter Rebbe, in this story, he wanted to show everything together, with it's all coming together. Who is turning around? Your face, your hands. We don't care. You turned around. Now you, when I'm saying Zayde, grandpa is turning around. The core is there. Okay? So it's the same thing with the soul. But who is grandpa? It's not the hand, it's not the face, and it's not even when you're taking everything together, you have grandpa. No. Because the body can be there all but can be dead also. It's not about that. It's about who? It's about the person itself. And because it's the person itself, is not in a specific place, not a specific organ, not specific anything. It's the core of him. So it's the same thing with the soul. The core of the soul. What makes this soul a soul? What is the core of it? That from one side it exists in all the organs, but in the second, from the other side, it's not connected to this organ in a specific way. It's just there because it's the core of everything. This core of the soul is God himself. Because God is the core of everything. And specifically the soul, that they are holy. This is what makes them holy in a way. Let's say I would say it in a different approach. What is the purpose of the natural soul? We've said it many times. What is the first instinct of the natural soul?
To serve itself.
To serve itself. What is the core of the natural soul? Me. What is the first instinct of the godly soul?
Serve God.
To serve God. Why? Because the core of the godly soul is God. Meaning, I think this is the whole point. The hand, it's a whole thing. But it's not its own. It's part of something bigger. What? Of the body, but it's connected to the heart. This is what makes it part of the body. No, it's part of the person. And this is soul. The soul is it's every force of the 10 forces of the soul. It's part of God, that He is the core of every soul. That's why the default of the core of the soul is to be connected to God, because He is the core of the soul. So when we can, so why? Now back to the question. When Jewish people have to choose God or life, so then the core of the soul being revealed, And this core of the soul, it's above understanding and above feeling. It's the connection. I am connected with God. I don't want anything else. So, why a person not feeling anything when he's doing that? Because it's about feeling. Why he doesn't understanding anything special? Because it's about understanding. You don't need to understand anything. You don't need to, because it's above it. Here being revealed something that it's above understanding and feeling. Why it's being revealed, it exists all the time. Why it's being revealed only then, when you have to the choice? Because then it feels the needs to being revealed. The connection with God, when it's a question about understanding God, it's in the level. So let's start like this. We have many ways to connect with God. By action, by feeling, by understanding. It's going deeper and deeper in the soul. And we have connection. The connection itself. God is in me. We are part of Him. We are one. It's not I connecting with God by understanding. It's not I connecting with God by feeling. It's I am one with God. This is the core of me. That's why it's above understanding and feeling. And that's why you don't need to be a learned person, smart person, a person that you just need to know that you're Jewish. And then when it's a question about your Jewishness, about your connection with God, it's been revealed. As we know the story with I would say again, we talk about in general, because always there is a choice. Even then there is a choice. We'll not go to this question right now. We're talking in general. There is a journalist, the American journalist, that died by Al-Qaeda?
No. Some terrorists in Iraq.
And you know the story? What was his name? You remember? Doesn't matter. You can check, but that he was not religious at all, nothing, and they made live his execution, and they told him last words, and this is what he said: "I was born a Jew, and I will die a Jew, and this is who am I."
Daniel Pearl.
Daniel Pearl, yeah. Why? They asked his family, what's. They said, we don't know why he said it. Why? Because this is what he felt. He felt that his connection with Judaism, this is his core. This is what he needs to show. Now, this is very important. Why it's very important? Because you don't need to die to reveal this connection. This is the truth. This connection is alive all the time. The reason why it's being revealed only in time, this kind of times, it's because then you feel that this is a question about my connection with God or not. But the truth is that every choice in your life is a question about your connection with God. When a person doing a mitzvah is connecting with God, when he's choosing to do a sin, to do avera, is basically tying off, ripping one connection that you have with God. Because the way of the soul to be connected with God is by doing Torah and doing mitzvot and learning Torah. When I'm choosing not to do it, you are disconnecting yourself from God. And if you will train your mind to think like that, it will not be a war. Because the God is soul, it's there to tell you, I want to be connected with God. The only reason that it's not being revealed, it's because you're telling yourself, everything is okay. It will be absolutely the same like yesterday. Doesn't matter, I'm choosing to do this, but I still can do everything. The sin not makes me a different person. I'm still a Jew, I'm still connected with God, everything is fine. But the truth is that in a way, you're not. You're disconnecting yourself from God. And if you're training your mind to think like that, so you can reveal your core of the soul. Now, as I said, the core of the soul is something very, very not. It's something that it's above feeling, and it's above understanding. When a person feeling this is not feeling it even, he's living this type of life. Something also not very easy to comprehend. The person that and I would try to translate this type of experience in much easier way, and this is maybe bring us again will bring us to we will understand something with it. It's something very special. So this person, how you will describe, so the first person that will do the first option that Alter Rebbe gave us, we understand this person feeling his feelings because he's working hard on them, and you can see it in his life schedule in general. Person that have a long prayer. You know, there were Hasidim in the land of Israel. It's not before the state of Israel was founded, but also after that, they worked in a very simple jobs that require hands, not require brains. That was their job that they looked for. They put stones in the ground, they built houses, they didn't design the houses. They only, why? Because their minds, they needed for themselves to think. Yes? It's like hearing podcast when you washing dishes. I need, but so this person we understand, let's say. But this other person, what is lifestyle? What is doing? From one hand, he's doing everything the same. He's a normal person. Just any time that he have a choice to look, not to look, to do, not to do, to eat, not to eat, he was like, he's jumping. It's like to jump into the fire. I will jump to the fire. This is like you understand? So, in a way, this person, he always feeling the mission. The mission. What does that mean? And there is psychological term called the wave, and I said it also a few times. What does that mean? So there is people who are the happiest people on earth. Happy, maybe it's not the right term, but who are the
Those who are happy with what they have.
True. But how you're not feeling that you need more? You don't have enough. I mean,
Purpose.
Very good. איך אומרים מאושר?
Well, it's different than happy.
Yes.
Satisfied. Blissful.
Interesting. Okay. Let's imagine a person that he is a mountain climber.
Content.
Content?
Content.
I don't know this word.
It's like when you're fine.
Satisfied.
Yeah.
It's like satisfied. Yeah. Okay. Let's imagine a mountain climber. Let's say he tried to climb Everest. What he doing in the year before going to climb Everest? Doing sports every day for a few hours. Putting himself in a stressful situation from time to time for like weather-wise or things like that to exercise his lungs. Okay? is eating very specific food, special diet. Any training, you will ask this person, are you happy with this food? With this extreme lifestyle? So of course, I'm going to Mount Everest. Yes? This is extreme example. Let's say a less extreme example. Let's imagine a teacher that is waking up every day in 5 in the morning, preparing the last preparation for the class that he will have to do, checking the I would say exams, and he's going to work, and he's first there in the work because he's speaking with some kids that need help. Okay, and then he's teaching, and and then he's checking after, and he barely eats because he need to go back to class in the time and eat very specific food. He have a very stressful lifestyle, but he's feeling its mission. It's his mission. It's his life mission. He believe in that. He believe to inspire the students, to give them motivation, to help them if they need help. This is his life mission. He feel he's good at it. He feel it was this. It's about the mission, purpose, as we say. This person can choose a difficult lifestyle. Why? Because he believes this is his mission. A doctor can choose a difficult lifestyle if he believes this is his mission. In other words, and they will be the happiest, the most satisfied people in the world. Meaning it's not connected to what you're having for lunch. It's not connected how many hours did you sleep. If we talk about happiness, about satisfaction. Meaning the purpose, this is a drive for living daily specific and even hard terms that you will tell it to people. They will tell you this is hard life, but for him it will not be hard because he's a teacher. It's all fitting to his schedule and to serve his purpose in a good way. So in a way, if we're taking this approach to the second option that Alter Rebbe gave us, what Alter Rebbe gave us in the second option? You should feel every time that if you're doing what's right, you're connected with God. If you're not, you are disconnected with God. And this will be in your head always. Meaning, he gave us, he giving us the way to reveal in ourselves the purpose of mission, that if I'm doing it, I'm good. If not, I'm disconnected with God. I'm not serving in my life's purpose. And if you train like yourself to work like this, you basically going in this path. This is a way to be Beinoni. If you succeed in this path, very good. Because everything is part of your mission. You can even go to vacation part of your mission. If you're not forgetting your mission. If you need it, you should do it. So this is of course, there is also the upper way in this type of way that Alter Rebbe gave us. The upper way would be to really learn deeply. What does that mean? The connection that we have to God, the core connection. What does that mean? And how I'm being disconnected with God. It's also, but if I'm taking the simple terms to do it, it's about the mission. As you all know, the Rebbe created, one of the famous things that the Rebbe, last Lubavitcher Rebbe built, was the Shluchim. The people that serving as Shaliach. What is Shaliach?
Delivery. I'm kidding. It's messenger.
It's a messenger, or it's a person that have a mission. Yes? This is basically what the Rebbe created, maybe. Created people that feeling a mission all the time. So maybe, and the Rebbe said that every Jew is a shaliach. Every Jew is a messenger of God. So maybe this is a way that a tool that the Rebbe gave us to, if we feeling that our job is our mission, our breakfast is our mission, our lunch is our mission. What is the mission? The mission is to connect God and godliness to every step in our daily life. This is our mission. And this is a way to be Beinoni. But you need to practice in your mind the understanding why it is our mission, how I can bring holiness to our life. And this is the job. Any question? This is the points of the two ways. Only the point. There is more details to add. But
there was one story of a guy who was going to go to the Vietnam War, and he went to the Rebbe, told him that he would not be able to keep kashrut, keep other mitzvot, probably also Shabbat, and the Rebbe told him to keep at least one mitzvah, and that was, and he chose to keep Netilat Yadayim, cleaning your hands, and eventually that saved his life.
Yeah.
But apart from that, like each time that he had to, sin while being a soldier there in Vietnam.
Yeah, it's not probably a sin, but okay.
I mean, I get that.
I'm with you. Yeah.
I get that he had no choice to eat the unkosher food because it meant his life was at risk. But still, like, for example, this guy, I don't know if it was a Hasid or not, but maybe he had a lot of thinking, and he knew the weight of what he was doing or not doing.
Yeah.
So how could he live with himself in such situations? Or
it's a very good question. This is exactly the point. If a person thinking that, and it will be true. For example, this soldier, it will be true. The ideal is that he will not eat not kosher. It's a problem, yes. And the ideal is that he will keep Shabbat and everything. So if we will take this analogy to the regular person, if he will think always, basically, I need to learn Torah, and this will be true. You should sit in one place all your life, learn Torah, be connected with God, not go to a place that you will have, it will be questionable if you can survive without sin. Yes? Just stay in one place and learn Torah. If this is what the person will think all the time, it's hard. What he should think, and this will be more true, that God gave me specific life, that I must go to work and I must do this and must do this and must do this. Why he gave me this life? Because this is supposed to be like this, my life.
mm-hmm.
So it's a mission. Everything that I'm doing, it's part of my mission. So there is a specific purpose in everything that I'm doing. And for example, this soldier, he had to go through all this experience in order to achieve something, because God gave him no choice. And that should be in his head. So, and this is why the Rebbe always talked about the verse in Mishlei, Bechol drachecha da'eu. In every step in your way, you should remember him. Meaning, things that you think you're doing for yourself. I'm eating lunch. Why? Because I cannot survive without lunch. But you should remember there is a mission. This lunch is not only because you think you need it. It's also because God needs you to eat the lunch. There is a purpose. Where are you eating the lunch? What are you eating? If you can influence your lunch buddy. Or it's all part of your mission. And this is what a person should think. So if you're feeling the mission all the time, you're basically putting yourself in a place, first of all, that you're not always thinking, oh, basically I'm doing it because I have to, but I need to do something else, the ideal. No, this is my mission. So basically you're giving yourself satisfaction that this is my lifestyle. This is my life. My job is not a problem. This is my mission. So you're giving yourself satisfaction, like this mountain climber that he's saying, basically, I need to be in the mountain. Now it's whatever. No, he's feeling that this is part of the experience. I'm working hard now, and then this will give me strength. So this is everything is part of the mission. So it's giving you, as you said, purpose in everything that you do, and this is the true belief in Chassidut, that everything and every step that I'm going through, it's the purpose. And another topic, and every bad thing that happened for you on the way, there's no bad thing that happened on the way. It's part of the purpose. It was a group of women that came to the Lubavitcher Rebbe to Shabbat, and they went back. They were stuck in Miami? No. In whatever, in one city. So they called the library. Not the library, the secretary of the Rebbe. Mm-hmm. And they told them, we are stuck in Detroit because of bad weather.
Horrible place to be stuck at.
Yes. So the Rebbe said, stuck? Not stuck. And that was Friday or Thursday. So the Rebbe said, look what to do there in the airport. So they went with the candle, kit, Shabbat candles, and they looked for women, and they gave them, and they found many women, Jewish women. And one woman I heard saying that she met many people from that, from those hours that she met there in the airport. It's not stuck. You're never stuck. You're stuck in your traffic. You're not stuck. It's part of your purpose, of your mission. Okay. But this is, again, as I said, this is not what Alter Rebbe presenting in Tanya. It's something that we can find ourselves in this other level. Mm-hmm. It's also connected to Pesach. I would say very short, because Pesach, it's about escaping Egypt. Why are we eating matzah? Why? Because our fathers didn't have time to cook, so we need to remember that they ran out of Egypt. Why? This is the point that we chose.
It's like part of the cleanse from Egypt, no?
What do you mean?
Because matzah is it's the opposite of chametz.
This is true. This is good explanation. But we need to remember that that we empty, that we feel humble. This is the only thing that we should take from Pesach. Yes. Why? Because Jewish, sometimes every person need to escape, need to jump. And this is what Jewish people experienced in going out of Egypt. They were almost like the Egyptians, and God took them out in the last moment. And this is compared to the feeling to the second level, the second approach that Alter Rebbe gave us. I'm going to jump to the fire. Yes? But the regular life is not about jumping to the fire. It's about developing in yourself the level. When a person reveals in himself the emotion of love and respect for God, he's not jumping anywhere. The opposite. He's really feeling those feelings in his heart. In a way, it's much more special than the second part. Okay? And this is the job of regular life. This is what the Jewish people did after going out of Egypt. They counted the Omer every day. What does that mean? It means that they didn't jump to a second level. They developed in themselves, and every day is another level. So Pesach is about jumping. All the year it's about I would say work in order in a specific level after level, not to jump two step. And this we should take from Pesach the understanding that from time to time we need to jump. And as I said, in the Alter Rebbe's approach here in Tanya, we can take for our life this mission of purpose, and then we're basically jumping all the time. Okay, thank you.